You're listening to LEI Campfire Podcast, the show that tries to stay on topic but usually can't. It is hard being us. Yet, we still survive. Heck, you could say we're just staying in our lane. There'll be off-topic rambling, human and fur kids in the background, and no BS. We don't discriminate here, for family is family, friends are friends, and love is love. If you're down with that, grab a spot at the campfire and join us for a weekly chat session, now in progress. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the LEI Campfire. I am CJ.
And I am Daryl.
And I'm the campfire mom. Hold on, I'm so sorry. And I'm the campfire mom, Pearl.
Today we're going to be continuing the topic of survival from the last episode. More specifically, we are going to be discussing the YouTubers or TikToks that we saw where we learned something cool or that they did something that we want to try out.
But before we get into that, we each want to take a little bit of time to list our top 3 survival items.
My top 3 would be a pocket knife, a compass, and a shovel. What do you guys think?
I can see that, especially like you can never go wrong with a knife. A knife is definitely first place on every list.
Right, and you can actually sharpen it with stones. I know they have like different types of stones, but I think one in particular is like flint, something like a flint-based type of stone you can use to sharpen it. I also like to use a shovel. I believe that comes in pretty handy and stuff, and you can use it to dig a hole or a tree or something, maybe branches, plants. Especially like if you're trying to build like a small dam, you can use a shovel. That's faster. I think that's like
true.
For sure, like you definitely need it for cat holes, and also to put dirt on the fire when you're done, so you don't have it.
That's true. You don't want to start a forest fire, and then you got Smokey the Bear on you.
So personally, of course, number 1, like I said earlier, definitely a knife. You can never go wrong with that. Number 2 is something to start a fire in general, because I know I'm not at that skill level where I could 2 sticks and like rub it well enough and make fire from that. So
yeah, that's like the Flintstone era and stuff, man. That's like full caveman right there and stuff. Yeah. I mean, I've never really started a fire with stones. Have you guys ever tried that or no?
Tried, but not succeeded.
It's like very specific stones I learned.
Like a flint type, right? And then you have to strike them together or something. And they've got it's kind of hard to say, I guess. I've never really studied stones and stuff. I've mainly just looked at them and like, oh, wow, they look really nice and stuff. You know? Or like, like maybe you get bored and you start kicking stones or throwing them. That's mainly what I've done with stones. But starting a fire, I've never done that. With twigs, I probably tried it once, and it didn't really work out too good, I guess. You're just there, like rubbing them back and forth, and nothing really happens, right?
Yeah, it takes a while.
You should make the
have to be
branches sharper, I guess. Is that that should be one of those theories we should prove. Can you start a fire with 2 sticks, right?
That'd be cool. I've seen some people do it. They make a hole in 1 stick. Uh-huh. They put another stick inside that hole, and they just keep rubbing as fast as they can. With the friction from rubbing the sticks together, it starts to kind of like burn some of the inside of the first stick that you put the second stick into. Yeah. And then after a little bit, you pour those out. You put some grass, dead grass, whatever your kindling is, and then you just kind of blow into it, and then boom, you got a fire. It's definitely something that takes practice and time.
Yeah, that's something I've never mastered. I've had roughly about 36 years to try something like that, and I've never mastered anything like that. But it'd be pretty cool to try, Yeah, I should try that sometime. Maybe this weekend, get a chance to go out to the ranch and just, try it for once. Have you ever seen? I've seen some of those YouTube videos. They're taking 2 sticks and then they bend them a little bit, and they try to search for water. You ever seen those
dowsing?
Videos?
Yeah.
Dowsing? That's what it's called?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I've always tried to look up that kind of a practice and stuff. I never really got the name of it.
Is that where they call it the water witches? Where the guys walk around with the 2 sticks and they're like actually pretty accurate?
Yeah. I tried that one time. I was trying to punch a well and stuff. And I tried that, and those 2 sticks were normal, right? Of course, they're pointing forward and stuff. And there's no wind. It was just me carrying the 2 sticks, and they're kind of loose in my hands where they could just like move around. And I started walking around, of course, and all of a sudden they just came together. And I thought, well, we are sitting on one big water table. So is it because they're going crazy because there's water everywhere? Or did I just discover some sort of little vein down there that I could just pop a hole right here? But it's one of those where you have to punch the hole in order for it to be true. So you got to actually punch water, and see if there is water, But I am pretty curious still. I'm going to actually see if it works, and maybe in the near future, because we've marked the hole, right? Me and you.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe in the near future here, kind of want to punch the hole, see if there's actually water in there, which I know there is, because, there's another well pump right next to it, of course, but I just want to see if that theory is, like, true.
In theory, for experimental purposes, wouldn't it be easier to go towards where the land goes down a little bit more, like a little bit further south, just to see if there's actually, not actually to drill a well, but if we're just going to do it for the sake of science to see if we hit water?
For science!
But then we'd wind up with a hole.
Right, we'd wind up with holes everywhere and stuff. But no, this particular hole, the sticks just kind of led me there. They started crossing right on that. I'm like, somehow X marks the spot. You ever seen that in movies, like X marks the spot and stuff? That's what I was thinking. I was like, maybe this is the sign here. Right? But who knows? I think we managed to get about 2 or 3 feet, right? No, I'd say about 2.5 feet, I think.
I think so, yeah. Because I could put my entire leg in and it went up to my knee.
Hey, man, we were making progress, of course.
Although I think
it was tiring, dude. Oh, no.
Yeah, it was tiring.
Like dead grass. But on the subject of doing the experiments and leaving the holes around, I guess we could call it holy and hallowed grounds. I regret nothing.
Oh, man.
Alrighty. Well, on that note, my top 3 are a knife, something to make fire, either a pack of matches or camp stove or whatever it is that you're going to use. Even one of those folding ones. Like I have several versions of camp stoves, and there's that one that's folding, and you can use leaves and twigs to create your own campfire in it. But you can also use denatured alcohol. So it's an alcohol stove. It's a little wood burning stove, and it collapses down so you can carry it in a backpack. And some sort of water filtration or water source.
I think CJ went full caveman. I went like half caveman, and you went pretty modern. Stuff and everything.
I went Swiss Army. I call it the Swiss Army Mama.
That's a big improvement.
I bring the ooga booga.
I had that song in my head earlier.
Me and CJ were over here like, sticks, 2 sticks together, we start a fire. You're over here, stove and matches. I'm like, oh yeah, that's way better than 2 sticks and faster too. But I think we each did our caveman eras.
I'm still going through mine.
I'm thinking, what else was in my era? I think CJ was like way before my time, and then I came out.
Oh yeah, CJ. Man, totally.
And then
I saw the dinosaurs.
I came after the Comet did everything and that kind of stuff,
Yeah. A little closer to modern day civilization.
Almost there.
Stone Age was weird, man.
I think the shovel part was kind of the closest one between that transition, right? I don't think cavemen ever used shovels, they
used their hands.
Hands, right?
Or sticks. They could use the sticks to dig in the ground, or rocks, depending on the rock itself.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think it more likely would use rocks because larger, flatter surface. Since there's some rocks that, if you hit them right, go into little slices. That's actually how they make some stone tools, axes, and like swords and stuff.
Oh, that's pretty cool and stuff.
They should have, actually, the edges should be sharp enough to even cut you. So you could potentially skin something if you manage to kill something.
If you try hard enough.
Yeah, that hide is like really tough. And I've skinned a lot of deer before. And you can pull it off, but
Oh,
you have
dear.
to make a hole, right? And like to separate of course, the outer layer from the inner layer, you have to use force. But in order to get to the inner layer, you have to punch a hole, at least a good sized hole, and then kind of carve it around a little bit, and then pull it down. And you can get most of it off without even cutting up the whole thing. Just create space and then just pull it off. And as long as you have something sharp enough to actually puncture that. You guys ever skin an animal?
Yes, it was disturbing.
Oh, really? Wait,
I have not.
Well, I don't think de-plucking, defeathering a chicken counts as skinning, but deer and I think it was like a javelina or something, and for sure a snake.
Oh, yeah, I've done snakes. Those are pretty cool. We used to skin a lot of rattlesnakes and stuff back in the day. You guys ever eaten rattlesnake or no?
Yeah.
Oh, it tastes like
I
chicken,
made
right?
a joke. I actually made a joke once. That wealthy rancher that was sniffing around trying to take the land and stuff.
Yeah.
He showed up one time when we were having a family barbecue thing, and one of the uncles, the one that's usually manning the barbecue thing, right? He'd cook a whole bunch of stuff. So he's like, try this. And it came out, it was really good. And the rancher was like, oh, this is pretty good. I'm like, oh, yeah, this uncle, he could make anything taste good, even a skunk. And I just meant it like as a compliment. But the rancher was like, oh, he turned green and he's there like, okay. And he left a little bit after that. He wasn't quite sure what we were feeding him. But
He didn't know how to exit.
he didn't, but he wasn't sure. He's like, oh, well, if you have bad intentions when you show up, you're going to assume the worst of someone else, even if that wasn't at all the case. But I thought it was funny.
That's true.
Apparently, there's actually, on the topic of skunk, there's actually people, especially in a specific time of year, where this community gathers around and they get the roadkill, they cook it and eat it.
Oh, really?
Wow,
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. Yeah, I guess they're not hunters. I think they're more of gatherers, right?
I think so. I don't know.
They're the kind of, oh, look at that little deer, give him a hug. But if it was, oh no, get away from me. But if the skunk was dead, oh yeah, let's pick it up. I mean, yeah, some people have different taste in things. I'm over here like, yeah, let's go get it and stuff. Let's go shoot it.
Go get him.
Yeah, you miss something. Oh, there goes dinner. Whatever, and then you go down the road, you see one, and you're like, oh man, some 18-wheeler hit them or something, and you feel bad. But
some of the guys I used to work with and that were the truck drivers, they would deliberately aim their truck at deer and stuff.
Oh.
No, but they would actually pick up the deer. They would go hunting while on the job, but use the vehicle as, and I'm just kind of like, doesn't that do something to the
Well, use a gun
and...
where you can use the truck.
I'm not sure
I
how
don't need
worked,
no
but...
22 cal. I got my 4x4 with me.
I don't think you'll miss with the truck. Oh, man. I tell you, they do damage. One time we did hit a buck. It was an 8-point buck. We were flying down a dirt road, and it was late at night. We're trying to get to town, and this buck just popped out of nowhere. We tried slowing down, but of course, I think we were going like 45, maybe 50. And on a dirt road, if you're trying to slow down that fast, it's not really good traction and stuff. So we slid into him. We tried to avoid him. We thought, because he was looking the other way, right? And then he just turns around, crosses right in front of us, and we had no choice but to take him. And he blew out the front brakes and stuff, and finally rolled to a stop. We got out. We assessed the damage. Front piece was broken. There's antifreeze everywhere. There's the brakes were gone, of course. That didn't work. And the back brakes had locked up. I think they got air in them or something, and you couldn't release them or anything like that from the truck. So we felt bad, but of course we had meat, and we finally got somebody to tow us back. But we still got the deer. We picked him up. We put him in the truck. We weren't going to let him go like that. We're like, oh, poor deer. Why would you do that? We gave you the chance, right? To just go straight where you're pointing at. Just go. But you decided to turn the other way and go, And it just happened so that we hit him by accident, and just felt bad. And we just picked him up, and just like, well, might have been our moment, because we hadn't shot at anything, and I guess we were just looking for some meat. We just picked him up, put him in there and stuff. So you guys ever hit a deer or anything like that on the road?
I've run over rabbits and stuff. I would always feel really bad.
Rabbit.
And
Why
I
would you kill
understand
a poor rabbit?
it was running across the road. But I understand like food has to come from somewhere, but I guess since I was never taught to hunt, so I would always take the injured things and try to fix them. So to me, it was always traumatizing. They left me a big buck. My mom wasn't there that day. My mom doesn't have a problem processing this stuff. That's how, ranch kids, that's how they grew up.
Oh, yeah,
Except for me, for some reason, I was not trained to do that. So mom wasn't there that day, and they're like, oh, well, the buck, its life is going to go to waste if it doesn't get processed immediately because he's fresh and it's too big to fit in the freezer that way. So I was left by myself with this really big buck, and I had to go through and create steaks and create the cubed meat and having to go through there and cut everything up. And it was, for me, it was totally traumatizing. But I understand food has to come from somewhere. And as ranch kids and stuff, and especially when stuff got hard, it's like that's what we would eat. If you didn't have rabbit, or if you didn't have a buck, or you didn't have a javelina, you weren't going to have meat. You weren't really going to have food. So it's a necessary part of life. Even if we're squeamish about it, people can say all they want, like, oh, I don't want to kill the little animal, but they're going to go order that burger, and that burger has to come from somewhere.
That's true.
So I just kept thinking about what a loss it would have been for me to be like, oh, poor buck, I don't want to touch it, it was dead, and then to really have it go to waste, so then it would have died for no reason. So as it was doing that, I was like, thank you for the gift of this. I'm sorry that this happened to you, basically, but thank you for blessing us with this. So as I was processing it, it was a whole buck. I don't remember how many points it was, but he was a big boy.
Was I around for that?
I don't remember. You were already...
Because I feel like I was. I was surprised by how hard it was to move the spine, I think.
Actually, we've done that 2 or 3 times, because on that one, I didn't have any help. But I do think you might have been outside, or you might have been doing something, and I was trying not to cry. being a wuss, doing all the processing. And I was like,
I just got the leg. Oh my gosh.
Oh, what's this red thing? Oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was. I was silent crying and started tweeting.
And when you took out the heart, you're like, ah.
They had taken the internal organs out, but I needed to. They had skinned it, and they took the internal organs out, and they just left me the carcass, basically.
Speaking of internal organs, what is your guys' thoughts on eating the organs themselves? Because I've heard that some people eat the liver and stuff, and that's super healthy. Eating the hearts as well. What do you guys think of that?
Liver's pretty good, actually. Liver's really good. It's very healthy and stuff. I used to eat the heart. Of course, you have to clean out the intestines really good. We used to make menudo.
Tripas.
Yeah, tripas also. Those are pretty good. Menudo, tripas. Oh, did you guys ever do this where you would hang up a piece of rope and then cut the meat super thin and then hang it up with salt and pepper?
Oh, you guys used to make
jerky.
Jerky.
Yeah, we got jerky from you guys. That's how we would see that you guys. We never did it, but I know that you guys did, because we see it.
Jerky was delicious, dude.
The neighbors would be watching. It's like, what are they doing? And we'd have strings of jerky outside and stuff, and the neighbors would
making an offering to the old gods.
And we'd all order them a little bit of jerky and stuff. They'd be like, oh, no, that's been sitting outside. Well, me and Bear would be eating it. Nothing ever happened to us. We were healthy. Dear me, I mean, that is the best meat in the world, I think, because healthy, and it made us strong. It made us really strong. And we would eat the jerky nonstop. We'd skin it. We'd be there processing it. It'd take a few hours, and then we'd put salt and pepper on it. Sometimes lemon pepper came out really good, and nothing ever happened to us. We never got sick or anything. A lot of people were like, y'all can't use a dehydrator. What's wrong with you? There's things out there. But hey, the best way to do it is hang it up. Get some fresh air on it. Let it dry, sun dry, right?
Natural seasoning.
Yeah, natural seasoning, get some dirt on it. I don't know.
I do think that's what it was, though, that it was natural and it's not all processed.
Yeah, and the fact that it was just hanging outside for days, people were just like, okay, so you're going to eat that. Are there any maggots on there? Well,
I wonder how they think that people used to do it before.
Right, because they used to have them back
historically, they used to eat that raw. They would just down it.
Pretty much, right? Not even cook it or anything. Just straight up, just take a bite and, where's the next one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so me and Bear, I mean, we thought that was normal, I guess. But
it was normal for us.
For somebody raised in the country, yeah, but for other people, that was not normal. That was more of a, oh my gosh, what are they going to do with that?
You got to do what you got to do when you're like an hour away from the town.
Yeah, that's true. That was a fun thing for me and Bear to do. We'd go out and get a deer, come back and skin them and put the jerky up on the line and leave it there for a few days. We'd be chipping at it. Of course, we'd be eating and stuff. And it was really good. And by the time the third day came around, we hardly had any because me and Bear were always taking it, stuff. We even took it to school one time. Of course, a lot of people tasted it and stuff. And they're like, there's too much pepper on it. Somehow I like the kick, I guess. I don't know. I don't know about you guys. I like spices. It's not too spicy, of course, but spicy enough to let fire come out the back end,
The bathroom dragon awakens.
And the toilet is like, oh no.
The toilet is not functioning for the next 5 days.
Fun times, man. You ever eaten meat like raw, like wild game raw and stuff, or no?
No.
I have not.
The only thing that we
I have been
raw
like
is
curious about that
sushi.
ramen.
Sushi, yeah, sushi's pretty. I love sushi. I didn't really
Like,
get
I've been
into sushi until I was in college, I think.
I've been wanting to try meat raw just to see how it is. I want to actually try insects.
Oh man,
seems interesting, and I hear that they're super healthy.
Factor or something.
What specific type of
But I
insect?
don't know the specific.
Are you talking about crickets or are you
Beetles,
talking about the
mostly.
medicinal roaches from China?
Anything really. I just kind of want to see what it's like.
Well,
I don't have the guts to eat the cooked tarantulas though.
fried tarantulas and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's like in
bugs.
Vietnam. They would farm the tarantulas. They kill them and they cook them and turn them into jerky.
Wow. I didn't know that, man. That's pretty interesting. I know there's different cultures around the world that have crazy foods.
Well, crazy by our standards. By theirs, it's just average.
Which I guess is normal to us. We'd see it as like, whoa, hey, that's a roach or that's a spider.
What the hell?
Right?
If you're enjoying your experience and would like to take our relationship to the next level, you can head on over to Patreon. For every donation you make helps make sure we continue to do what we love and give you more of the quality content you come to expect from us. The different levels we have are S'more, Beer Maiden, Camp Fuel, Fish Bait, Hunting Rounds, and Keg Buddy. Now that we hopefully have you interested, just navigate to leicampfire.com/Patreon. Thank you for coming by, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Hey, you guys ever sing? And I think the best place to sing is the shower.
The shower has the best reverb. You got the warmth of the water to help keep you calm and relaxed so that you can hit the good notes. You know what I mean?
Oh man,
It's like your
I
own
agree with
personal
you.
opera.
Exactly, man. Like nobody's there hearing you. You feel like you're in the opera. You're the lead singer,
You got the shampoo rooting for you, you know, man?
right? And you have the conditioner and the little bar soap and the toothbrush is just sitting there staring at you, saying, "You got this. You got this." Right?
And your family's in the background pounding on the door. Stop it!
Right. You're wasting all the hot water and stuff.
What are you doing? I can't.
Oh, yeah, the hot water.
Stop screeching.
I agree. Oh man, it's some fun times. Yeah, that's the best place to sing is the shower and stuff. It's nice and quiet, and the water's running. You got the relaxation and stuff. But when the water runs out, oh boy,
No,
the hot water goes
like in
cold real
general, the
quick.
bathroom is a sacred space.
Right? Hey, you guys ever go to the restroom and you're there for like 30 minutes, and all of a sudden your legs go numb?
Oh,
You're too busy
I know
watching
that all
TikTok.
too well, dude.
Try to stand up and then you fall over. You're like, oh, that hurt. Right? And
Yeah,
then,
man.
I've gained some weight, so it's kind of hard to get up, especially
Your
when the legs
go
are numb.
and half your cheek kind of hurts, and it's just like, what the hell
Oh,
happened down
man.
there?
But if you take your phone in, you're not sure how long you're going to be in there. But after you've been on there for a little bit, you forget that you're in there because you're whatever it is that you're doing, TikToking or messages or something, or YouTube. I'm not sure.
I go in the bathroom with my phone on purpose. I'm a
Right?
man on a mission.
That's like the sacred.
I do too. That's honestly some of the only time that I have time to myself.
Right? That's like the
Yeah.
sacred
Like, not that I
moment and
don't
stuff.
love being a mom and stuff, but it's also sometimes it's
No,
like
she
that's
totally
the
hates being
only.
mom. She hates us. No, I'm joking. She has made us many sandwiches. She loves us.
So I'm making
"Oh,
what?
just getting bread for dinner now."
I'm like, dang it, make your own grilled cheese.
You ungrateful prick.
Oh man.
She doesn't use the boat. She just does the, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. And that hurts so much more.
Yeah. Yeah, she's probably like, I'm not gonna use bow tie noodles. I'm gonna use regular noodles.
Dear God.
Oh, my kids don't eat bow tie noodles. They don't like elbow. They don't like elbows. They don't like penne. So
What? Oh my kids love bow ties. You ever seen the blue box? I think it's called vermicelli or something. And I think they have it above the spaghetti section, where you find all spaghetti noodles and stuff.
vermicelli, like the stuff that our parents are obsessed with.
No, I think that's the brand name. I'm not sure. I have to double check that.
Oh.
I usually don't pay attention to the brands. I just go and get noodles off the shelf and just like, okay, let's go quick run. I'm probably the fastest guy in the store, right? I just grab a car, put babies in, and start loading the cart from the get-go, which my eyes first. I'm like, okay, that's going in the car, and as I'm passing it, I'm throwing it in there, right? Sometimes I don't even bother to stop and check what's going on the shelves or what's that discounted price. I'm just basically load it, let's go. No, I don't have that much time to be at the grocery store. But it's worse because they put the toys at the front. So now I have to make time, right? Because the kids are like, hey, Dad, look at this. I want this toy. So naturally, you have to go check out the toy in order to make them happy and stuff, So I don't know why they would put the toys at the front of the store. Well, you could just put them at the back of the store. And
you know why.
I respect the hustle,
I try to go
but
in there and just dodge the toy section. But somehow they managed to just put them right at almost as you're exiting. It's like, oh, okay, turn around. Let's go back and look at them.
Wait, I'm going to wrap myself out here. I still do that.
Oh, really?
Like, Mom sends me in to go to the store, and I'm walking in, and as I'm walking by, I see that toy aisle, I just catch a slight glimpse of it in the corner, and I just can't help myself. I got to go in there, and I got to check out what is there, and I'm going to just eyeball everything.
You know what the sad thing is, though?
I would get this.
But the sad thing is that even like that, he's faster than if Sky and I would go in. That's why I send him in. Because when Sky and I go in there, it's like I have a list, and I was not like this when it was just me and CJ.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is on my list. This is what I need. Boop, boop, boop. Even if I did price comparisons or whatever, and even stopping by the toy section and stuff for him, it was still in and out. But now with Skylar, for some reason, we go in, we get nothing on my list, and we get a crap ton more stuff. So I spend a lot more money and I take a lot more time. And finally, I just got frustrated. I was like, you know what, baby? So now we send CJ in because even stopping to look at toys, he still is much faster and he sticks to the budget.
That's totally happened to me lately. I used to be the guy just run in there, grab the stuff, and get out. Now I'm the guy that has developed a pattern of start at the grocery section and then go north and then maybe go west, circle the whole store. You're passing the baby clothes, you're passing the electronics, then the toy section, and then you get to the honey section and the tool section, which they put together because that's like the man section, right? And I'll spend maybe like 30 minutes in there looking at new lures and pocket knives. And then I go over to the tool section. I spend like another 10 minutes looking at tools. I usually don't buy tools from Walmart, but I have nothing against their tools. I just prefer brand, and so I'll circle that section. I'll go into lighting, the hardware stuff, see if I need anything for the house, and then circle around to the cat and dog section. So I do one big loop, and I shop at one of those Walmart supercenters.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys have ever been there, it's so huge. Yeah, so I would just circle the whole thing and then finally come back to the register. But back then, I'd just run in there, grab stuff, and try to stick to budget. But recently, I'm like, let's see what I can spend,
What happened to us?
I know, right? Hey, as we get older, we start to say, screw it, I mean, the knees are giving out and the ankles, they don't work like they used to. So let's just take our time, right?
Screw it.
While everybody's at home starving and stuff, and they're waiting for you to start cooking, and you're over here circling the whole store, checking out what you need. And when you were just there yesterday, right? But I've done a lot more shopping at Harbor Freight and stuff. Guys,
free flashlights.
Yeah, I see those discounts. I'm like, okay, how can I combine this one with this other one, right? And see how I can get this coupon to apply. I have that insider club membership. Mm-hmm. I think you pay yearly for it, and that's pretty cool. You do a lot of savings stuff. But I mainly go in there to get like a pack of masks or something, and I'll sometimes look for batteries too. You can never go wrong with batteries. The rechargeable ones, yeah, they're cool and stuff. They last for maybe a year, but eventually, sometimes there's one that just gives out. And Harbor Freight's got these packs that are 1.5 volts, and you can just use them and then throw them away. They're not a Duracell brand, which is, I guess, how would you say, better quality and stuff, and lasts a little bit longer. But for me, it's just whatever. As long as it works, right? You put the batteries in. If it works, it works.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really a big brand on like batteries. Maybe a car. Yeah, car battery is different, right? But I collect these batteries. I've got like a whole box of batteries, different types too. So
as long as it can keep the kids distracted.
Yeah, especially for the Xbox remotes and stuff. I usually.
Yeah. That's all
if you're
right
into gaming and stuff, those batteries are gonna run out real quick, right? So yeah, I collect those batteries. I've never used to collect the size D batteries, but Harbor Freight has this tennis racket where you can kill flies with it. And recently, I've had a few flies come in and out, and the swatter never really worked. The old-fashioned swatter is like a little flap, and it's got this wire attached to it, and you try to whack a fly with it. That's
a little flap.
Chances of that happening are gonna miss. I'm pretty bad at hitting flies, right? But with this racket, all you do is hit the button, and you put in the D batteries, 2 of them. You hit the button, and you're there whacking flies left and right, and they're caught in this little electric net. Next thing they start burning up, you can smell them, and it's like, yeah, fly, I got you and stuff. It's pretty cool. I call it fly racket. I remember when I came home with the first pair we ever owned. And the kids went to town just whacking flies with it. They'd leave the door open just to let the flies and just to play the little game of whack fly. I mean, yeah, they thought it was fun, and then to go outside and try to whack another bug or something. Something that was flying as long as it got caught in the net. I thought those rackets were pretty cool. That was pretty interesting. But
I would love to have one of those just to overclock it.
Yeah, they're pretty cheap too. I think they're like $2 with a coupon. Without the coupon, I think it's $4 or so. I was going to take 2 out to the ranch and leave them there, so in case they want to just whack some flies out there. You live down the ranch and you get bored and stuff, right? And you want to do something. And sometimes you're over there welding and you run out of especially if you're doing like a MIG, you run out of like your roll, and it's go ways back to town, so you can't go get your stuff. Or if you're stick welding, you run out of sticks, and you just can't go to town. So you find something else to do, and the reception out there is not really that good. And there's no internet service, of course. Good luck watching TikTok out there. Right? I mean, you try your best. Back then, you used to get on a hill, right, and then see if you could get like cell service. You guys ever remember that?
Yeah, we actually would. The irony of not getting cell service for the houses and having to go in the middle of the road where all the trucks and stuff are passing by, that's where it would get service. Literally, 100 feet? Maybe less, more, I don't know. I'm not good at the whole measuring stuff. Just that difference, it was crazy. But now the AT&T MiFis work perfect there. So if we're traveling, we have that little gadget with us.
Oh, yeah, the little Mifis, or how do you say it, Mifi? Or
I say MiFi, but
MiFi. I say like Mifi, right? But I think it sounds a little. My version sounds like it has an E in it or something. But those are pretty cool. Yeah, the way you're explaining it and stuff. I think I should get me one. Invest in one of those.
I like to jokingly call Wi-Fi Wi-Fi at times.
Hey, sometimes you just gotta make them names just to have a good time, man, and stuff. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
hey, bro, you got more of that Wi-Fi? The heck are you talking about?
We try not to plug in so many devices because it just eats it up real quick. I wish they'd improve that. I guess that's one of the things I'd like for them to improve in the future is have so many devices connected to Wi-Fi and, still have that good amount of bandwidth without, diminishing it really quick with all those multiple devices connected to it. You guys ever have that trouble?
Yes. There's only 3 of us, but you would think that there's 7 people living here because the rate
You'd think that we'd be running like a cafe business with free Wi-Fi.
Man, you have to close all these internet tabs and then close your notifications. It's annoying. Sometimes you go to a website or you're using an app and you're playing a game. Next thing you know, there's an ad that pops up, and then you try to just watch a video real quick, and it opens up in like a browser, right? And it just leaves that on. You just forget it because you swipe up, and next thing you know, the Wi-Fi's gone. The game doesn't work, and it's just cycling. It happens, I think that'd be another useful tool in camping. I think camping has evolved over time, and survival has been more of a cool thing nowadays. Have you ever seen it on TV? These guys do like survival mode and stuff, and they go all out too. You guys
Like
ever seen
Bear
that on
Grylls?
YouTube? Yeah, they go to extremes.
We would watch Bear Grylls and Fat Guys in the Woods, Creek Stewart. He has a lot of really cool stuff, but we mostly watch our stuff on YouTube. There's a whole bunch of like Corporal's Corner. He does some amazing projects. He'll just go in there with nothing, and then he gets to the campsite and he'll set it up. He'll have the campfire, or like he'll dig the hole and he'll put where the fire is. But then he takes some wood, some logs, and using, I'm going to say vines because I haven't seen this video in a while, so like it's probably wrong. But he uses the stuff he finds. He winds up making like a fork with the logs.
Yeah.
So he'll actually put the cooking pot on top of it. And that thing that he made with the sticks to hold the cooking pot, he can swing it over the fire and away from it and stuff. And then he makes elevated sleeping things. Some of the stuff blows my mind. I never thought to do any of those things.
Right, and that's because we spent most of our lifetime out of the brush country, just grew up out there and stuff. And I think another thing was that we never really had a water source. I think the only water source we had out there was water trough. Sometimes me and Bear would just jump in there in the summer and just swim around. You had all that algae and stuff. And we didn't mind it. I mean...
Oh, we didn't either. I almost drowned in those big tanks, though. Those big tanks that hold the water from the windmill. Like, I almost drowned in that because they're like, you don't know how to scream. Not scream. I know how to scream, but you don't know how to swim. And I was so insulted. Like, they didn't show me how to hunt. They didn't show me how to fish. They didn't show me how to swim. They didn't show me how to. So I'm over here with my attitude. I know how to swim. And I freaking almost drowned. They had to like pull me up.
Little did she know, she does not know how to swim.
Back then, they just threw you out there. Okay, survive. Well, we're just kids, I mean, what do we do? So it's
like, move your legs, and I'm like,
follow your instincts.
I know the only thing they taught us is say, look down. I'm like, okay. Even then, I didn't take that as a kid because I got bit by that snake. I didn't listen as a kid, but of course, as you get older, it becomes more of a common sense, right, and stuff. But I think those were more like survival times and stuff for us and stuff.
But we were content just to be out there. We weren't even thinking about having anything. We were just out there to be out there, to be in nature. Like we could even, like CJ's been talking about how he wants to cowboy camp. Boy, I grew up like that, but we didn't even have the sleeping bags. We're just out there like in the bed of a truck or something. So sometimes not even that, not a tent. We didn't have a tent. Sometimes we didn't have
we slept out in the open and stuff. That's how it was back then. You could go park the truck underneath a tree and then you just slept in the back, and hopefully your blanket would cover you and stuff. And, you have your little fire.
I'm just going to be looking at me with a sleeping bag and just be like, wuss. Back in my day, we had no sleeping bags.
We didn't. I mean, I think that's probably the last thing that our parents were thinking about. It's just go out there, hunt, come back, process it, and just, do the garden thing or whatever. So for us, being out there was just, I don't know, maybe we're the original, how the original hunter-gatherers were just, they might have had a cave that they returned to, but for the most part, they're just, surviving, I guess. And how many of them thought to do these really awesome things? I don't know.
Yeah,
are they thinking about these things because of the fact that they have everything already? So then it becomes, oh, well, this is like survival for fun. So then they get the creative thing like, oh, I can do this. But when you're doing it as a daily thing or as part of your life, it's kind of, we're not as creative, I don't think. But it was still fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun and stuff. I think the sleeping bags came around our time, right? And I remember when we first got a sleeping bag, my dad was all excited. He had never seen one before and stuff. He'd seen blankets, and you'd roll yourself up in one. And his way of staying warm was basically wrap yourself as tight as possible and try not to move the whole night, right?
In those scratchy wool blankets.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Those would make you itch. How did they even make those things? I mean, don't you agree? Like, if you slept in wool, you're going to wake up itchy, of course. And if you try to wash it, you'd probably, like, thin it out or make it, like, hard. Yes.
They get uncomfortable.
They do get uncomfortable, especially after like, a few washes or so. They get very uncomfortable. So, a lot of times, the old people wouldn't wash them. They just put them away when the sleeping bag came around, that was a different story. It was a little more comfortable and stuff. But of course, the elders always saw it as, oh, that was not our way of doing things, and stuff. But I mean, the sleeping bag wasn't much different. It was just the material, I think, was a lot softer, right? Or what do you think?
It was less scratchy for sure.
Yeah.
Although sometimes it wasn't as warm. Quite honestly, we'd probably have to take one of Grandma's blankets and stick it inside the sleeping bag, because the sleeping bag, you could get it dirty, and it's like, okay, well, it was meant for that, but you get Grandma's blanket dirty, and it's like,
oh yeah, like you're gonna get an ass chewing. I mean, yeah, that's how it was. Hey, you try not to dirty your sleeping bag because you're gonna get yelled at, And I think the other difference with sleeping bag, and aside from the wool blanket, was the sleeping bag came with a zipper and easy to get in there and close up. But the wool blanket, that was just no zipper. You better figure out how you're going to do this. But yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting when we first got our first sleeping bag. I remember we tried to fit in there as kids, me and Bear. And, there's only one way out. And of course, if you zippered one side, the other side was basically, you're squished in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, rock, paper, scissors for the zipper side, right? You guys ever have that trouble or no?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's sort of like sleeping against the wall, but in a smaller space.
True. And if the zipper came open, you were cold that night and stuff. But the one I was sleeping next to the wall, they're perfectly warm and stuff, right? So you try to pick the nights when you were going to do rock, paper, scissors for the zipper side, But yeah, I mean, those were the days of sleeping in the back of the trucks and stuff.
Do you want a candle? Of course you do, and we have the perfect one for you. You can do anything with this candle. You can burn it, you can hug it, you can love it. You can practice magic with it so that all those who oppose you fall to their knees. Family fun. Burn it like you hate it, but you secretly love it. Because it's fragrance-free, burns clean, and doesn't aggravate your allergies. It's the little flame that could. Burn down your whole house if you're not responsible, so please, blaze respectfully. Get your official LEI Campfire branded candle now at leicampfire.com/candle.
I was talking to this one guy the other day down at the local tractor supply store. I was buying deer feed and stuff. And he was like, I thought you were going to pull up in a pickup truck, because I drive a Suburban, right? I was like, well, what's wrong with Suburban? He goes, well, it said black pickup truck on the order. I was like, oh, yeah, man. I used to have one, but I'm not allowed to have one now because I've got 5 kids I drag around with me all the time. He starts laughing. He goes, as kids, we used to ride in the back of pickup trucks and everything. We didn't care. Because I came from the era of riding back in pickup days. I was like, oh, yeah, man. I did that, too, of course. He goes, well, you look pretty young. I was like, yeah, no. I'm around that time where we all rode in the back of a truck and it was safe. And, we used to, drive around the pasture and go look for rabbits and stuff. That was actually a really cool thing to do. And yeah, he was just like, yeah, those were the days. I was like, oh, trust me, man. I came from that era too, And now it's just, I gotta give up the pickup truck, and have a Suburban so I can take the kids with me and stuff. And he was like, well, hopefully assuming you're looking to get yourself a pickup truck. Yeah, if I did, it'd be a used one and stuff. I'm not really much for a pickup right now, and I got no use for it, of course. And I do like Suburbans because they're longer, and of course they're durable now. I think they're useful tools now if you looking to go camping. I think you guys have a Suburban that is actually 4x4 and made for that.
Z71, yeah.
I know. I mean, those are pretty cool.
You spoke the magic words, man. You got it excited.
But I'm over here like, I'm super excited about that. But also, I remember when we would go, and it was a whole family thing. Our family, I think like any family, has issues. And sometimes the issues are not so great. So we all kind of keep to ourselves. But there were times when stuff was going really good. The uncles would pile into the truck and tell all the kids. And then some of the wives and the aunts and the sisters, my mom, we'd all get in the back of the truck. And it's like everybody's kind of fighting for what spot they're going to get, especially if they're shooting that day. So if we're going for rabbits or if we're going for something, whoever had the guns got to pick the spot they wanted first. And then everybody else would fight for where they wanted to sit. Was it going to be on the toolbox? Is it on the rail? Is it on the inside thing where the blue well is? And it was fun. And we'd go out as a family. And it sounds kind of derpy.
No,
that was our fun.
True, yeah.
It was like we're driving around 10 miles an hour, slower. I don't know how fast. It was. We were not going fast at all. We just ride down the woods quietly. Hey, do you see a buck? Do you see anything? So I remember those
would be like, shh, you got to keep quiet. And we'd be there whispering.
And they'd get mad and chew us out.
They get
noise.
super
That's
mad.
why we didn't see anything.
Yeah, get back and they'd be all mad. Well, it's because you were loud. I'm like, what? I could have sworn I was whispering.
I was only breathing.
Like you couldn't even breathe. They get so mad, even though we're in a truck that sounded louder than an 18-wheeler or something. I mean, they'd be on you. Those are the days. I mean, I think we grew up in the rougher part of it, but it was awesome. Taught us a lot of life lessons.
But to us, it was so much fun. And if I think about it now, it's like, wow, that was we're so easily entertained.
Right.
Someone from New York is gonna be like, "Oh yeah, these guys are from Texas,"
or they'll just be like a backwoods, people, something.
Yeah, but hey,
drinking their meat up, riding in the back of trucks. Yeah.
I live in town nowadays and stuff, which is pretty cool, but it's not as cool as living out there, having like freedom and stuff. You get to pass a little bit of gas when you're a little bloated and stuff, right? I mean, everybody's got that one moment where tacos hit a little too hard or the beans, and, nowadays they build everything so close together, and you're a heavy guy, you're going to make some noise, right? And that's the one downside of being in the city. But I mean, it has its ups and downs and stuff, And out there, you have a lot more freedom and, you get to go do stuff and go look at birds or see if any animals have crossed over. And it was pretty cool. Have you ever hung clothes on a barbed wire fence? Oh, that was fun. Oh, I remember this one time. It was not so windy, and me and Bear, my brother, we'd wash our clothes by hand in a bucket, of course, use some laundry detergent, and then we'd go hang them up on the barbed wire fence, right? Well, we didn't know that the barbed wire would poke holes in them, and if the wind kicked up, it was gonna make your shirt pretty holey, right? And we'd go to we'd go to school, and everybody would be like, "Hey, your shirt has a bunch of holes in it." Oh, of course, we finally figured out, oh, it's the barbed wire. I mean, those were the fun days. I mean, we'd wake up like at 4 a.m. and try to get ready for school because it was a good drive to school.
Yes.
We had a few cows and stuff, and we'd have to get out and go feed them before school. And sometimes you'd step on a cow patty, and sometimes there's a fresh one, and you spend like 10 minutes trying to get that stuff off, But I mean, after a while, you got used to it, and it was a lot of fun. There's some mornings where it was kind of foggy, and you try to look out for deer and stuff, and we'd always be like, "Hey, are we gonna see something this morning or something on the way to school?" It was always fun because sometimes you'd see like javelinas, and then you'd see maybe a big buck just standing there in the fog on the side of the road. He's just looking, right? Or sometimes you just see the rabbits or the jackrabbits just running, which is pretty cool. We saw a lot of armadillos. Nowadays, I don't really see too much armadillos anymore. Those were the fun times. Nowadays, in the city, you see a bunch of dogs walking around and stuff. They got out or something, and that's all you see.
Dogs out.
I saw a few coyotes. Well, a couple of times here in the city. I guess they're just looking through the trash or something. But you can tell right away between a dog and a coyote. It's like, oh yeah, that's a coyote right there. Yeah. I'd be turning in my subdivision. I'm like, oh yeah, look, there goes Coyote. I wonder where he's going. But I guess they stay along canals or something. It's kind of hard to explain. But I know there's towns up north that have animals that just come into the city, and it's normal for them. You ever see these little towns on TikTok or like YouTube? They've got bears rummaging through the trash can, or they got moose in the front yard, or like elk in the backyard eating some plants or something. And they're like
bears on the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Tucson, dude, Mount Lemmon, in that same area that we were talking about last time, that we went hiking, and then we had to race back up. In that section there's bears that were walking around the houses up there on the roofs after it snowed.
Wow, that's actually something new to me. And I don't even know how people deal with those kind of problems because I think bears are just messier. You can't really leave like lasagna out because I'm pretty sure they're just going to go for that real quick, and their sense of smell is a lot stronger than ours, right? I can smell lasagna in the neighbor's trash can or something, but a bear that's pretty close, yeah, of course he can.
And I've seen a lot of videos with the people who deal with the bears, and they handle them so chill. They just like, hey, go away, and the bear's just like, all right, I've been caught, goodbye. It just walks off. Like, dang, dude, I thought they were supposed to be a predator. They seem so chill. And then like you see this other one where it tears apart a car, and like, oh yeah, that seems right.
Right, yeah, okay, there's a true bear right there.
Yeah, dude, I saw this one video where a bear literally got the car door handle, opened up the car, and just ransacked it and ate whatever is in there.
Ooh, this other bear opened up, I think it was like a white BMW or Mercedes-Benz or something, and the people from a balcony or somewhere see the bear. They're like, hey, you stop. And the bear stands up on two legs and turns and looks at them like, what? And they're like, get off. And the bear walks off. Like, huh, okay.
Right. Like,
You don't need to be so mean.
Oh, man. Yeah, I've seen some crazy videos of bears and stuff. How does that even happen?
Well, that guy with the coyote, he was out hunting and he was waiting to see if he would see a deer. He hadn't seen anything. I think I shared that TikTok with you. And a wild coyote just walked up to him where he was sitting on the ground, and it sniffed his feet. And he just asked the coyote, he's like, oh, it's not going so well for you today either, huh, buddy? And eventually the coyote's kind of just sniffing around. So the guy offers him one of his snack cakes, his little Debbie snack cakes, Christmas tree type thing. And he offers him one. He's like, hey, you want my last one? I won't share my beer, but you can have this. And so the coyote's like, eh. And he takes the little Debbie cake and he leaves.
I'm like, you can't go wrong with little Debbie cupcakes.
Processed sugar.
Right. Sometimes I try to stay away from them, but they're just, hey, come get me. I'm like, oh, okay. So I walk into the corner store and I just see them right there. And next, I gotta take like 2 or 3, right?
Hey, for the kids' tea times. I don't know if your kids are into it or not, but for Skylar for a little while was into tea time. And we would also use it to talk, because some of the homeschoolers use it as part of their like scripture studies and stuff. So we do tea time with poetry or something like that, or even the music stuff. And so we would break up those little Debbie cakes into little fancy cake things and put it on her little doll plates with some tea.
So that's a really good idea. The other day, we bought my little girl a tea set. My youngest one, she's 4 years old, right? We bought her tea set, and we figured out she'd go have her tea with her sisters. But no, she wanted everybody there, the whole family. So, and she made sure we were all there, of course, and I didn't have tea at the time, so I guess we used water, but we were pretending that there was tea in here, and we'd be there sipping, and of course we would use like an English accent or like a British accent.
Pinky out.
It's like more tea. Anybody want more tea?
More tea, governor.
Cookie? Can I have a cookie? A Danish cookie?
Timmy, can you pass the water bottle?
We're not making fun of anybody. Our accents are just terrible. We apologize.
I never thought it'd be having a tea party stuff or playing Barbie dolls, I guess. But as you get older, you get kids. Oh, believe me, you will be playing with Barbie dolls.
Oh dear. It appears we're cut off at the moment. Maybe we get to finish our story next time. Thank you for listening to the LEI Campfire podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help us stay in our lane, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from us, follow along on TikTok at LEI Campfire. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time.